Let me tell you a story. Back in spring of 23, when I was still a student at Harper College, I was able to explore the area as my class ended early that day. Having known about a specific hill just north of the campus, I was given the opportunity to finally pay a visit, and I climbed to the top of the hill. At the top of the hill, which was meant for sledding, there was a view of everything. From that high up, I could even see the city, which is around 30 miles away. I feel like a different person from the one that discovered the hill. And yet, it wasn't that long ago. Time is weird. From the point I found the hill to now, that's been 2 years, or a perfect 1/10 of my life, as of now. The start of the extended spring break that became the COVID pandemic was 5 years ago, or an entire quarter of my life. I've had my dogs for 10 years, which meant I spent half of my life with them. What is time? Some say it's relative, some say it's a construct. I say it's weird. In a blink of an eye, we can change. Things get lost, buildings get torn down and replaced. But then there are things left over, remnants of the past that survive through all of that. For example, in Palatine, on the same road as the hill, is the Clayton House, a historical building that was constructed in 1873 and is one of the oldest buildings in Palatine. Residing on Palatine Road, the Clayton House is entirely surrounded by buildings and homes of a different era. The house stands out and has watched over the town since its inception. The house is over 152 years old, which means I've been around for nearly an eighth of its existence. What makes the hill at the reservoir so significant to me, however, is because it's the only way I've been able to physically map out my own timeline in a real space. Starting in the north, looking down at the base of the hill, is a remnants of the past long before the town itself. A small, gated-off plot of land stands near the railway tracks, with a wooden sign on display. The sign states, "This is but a small remnant of the vast landscape of grasses and wildflowers that covered Illinois for thousands of years." This small plot of land is a remnant of the long past. Thousands of years. Before I was born. Before the German-speaking town of Palatine was founded. Hell, even before the country was founded. Going back thousands of years, those fractions of time mentioned earlier are so minute they become meaningless. What once covered the entirety of the region is now delegated to a tiny gated-off plot next to railroad tracks. Continuing west, we arrive at this building, which is the largest building by my childhood home. When looking from my hill, it resembles that point in my life before I gained responsibilities. I don't really remember much from then, and it feels like a lifetime ago as remnants of that time have sadly faded. Looking south is the mall and Topgolf, which resembles my first job in the middle era of becoming who I am today. I got my first job there in high school, and it symbolizes a change in my life from being in my childhood to preparing to become an adult. In the southwest is the remnant of my current life, faded in a view far, far away. Chicago. I never imagined myself commuting to the city every day for school. Chicago resembles my present. I've been here more in the last 6 months than I have in the last 19 years combined otherwise. Looking at the city from far away, faded and always foggy, it feels like my present is disconnected from my past. And that, of all the different points on this time, it's the one that's the farthest on its own, large and far, different from everything else. On the west, and finishing our grand circle tour around the Hill of Time, is a large empty plot of land that used to be home to the Arlington racetrack. This plot of land resembles not just my future, but the future of the whole area as is, as the land is now owned by the Chicago Bears, who have been in talks for years about placing a potential new 65,000-seat stadium here. Time is weird, and this hill is truly the only way to physically map out my life on a timeline. But these locations are not just symbols to me. I'm not the only one who climbs the top of the hill to gaze on the buildings far away. Everything is ever-changing, and there's no guarantee that any of these symbols will remain in 5, 10, hell, 15 years. They may mean something entirely different down the road, but because time is impossible to process, it helps me appreciate what time we do have through it all. A lot has changed since I first came on top of this hill. I weigh 100 pounds less. I go to school in the city, and yet, we're both me. To me, the hill is a symbol of all that. To quote the sign by the prairie, this preserved patch provides us with an authentic insight into the past and the enduring hope that a part of it will always remain.
So at least, no, no.